All right. So, well, I like to explain that I'm a little diehard Rockies fan. So I had a little free time. So I decided to go over the history of this team, the good, the bad, and I'm not gonna go over every year because it's just fucking stupid. I'll just go over eras. So the important years of the team. So in 1991, the Rockies, well, not Colorado, but Denver was awarded an expansion team. So the Rockies were able to get a baseball team in 1993, and they were put in the NL West. And they played at Mile Stadium in Denver, which is where the Broncos play if you pay attention to sports. But in their first year, just like all expansions teams did, they didn't play great. They played solid baseball. They went 67 and 95, and it's their first year as a team. But fans were there. They were excited. They wanted baseball. There was over 4.48 million tickets sold, a record that still stands today. Say this name right? I'm hoping. But Andres Galagera, a Rocky slugger, won the NL batting title in the first year of the team's existence with a 370 average. So that is going to be a theme of this video. Hitting is going to be huge for Colorado, especially when they move to Coors Field. In 1995, they moved to Coors Field and they also signed Rockies legend, franchise legend Larry Walker to a lucrative deal at the time to pair him with young star Dante Bichette and previous named Andres Galguera. Hopefully I said that right. And they formed the Blake Street Bombers in 95. And that team hit so many home runs. It was lethal, man. It was getting brutal out there for other teams, man. Let me tell you something, man. Ellis Burks hit 40 home runs and had a 340 average, 344 average in 95. This team was going stupid. And you would think with all that hitting, they would make a playoff, right? They'd make the playoffs, right? You would think. They did. They made it in the NLDS, which they didn't have wild cards at the time. Because it's MLB, man. But they didn't have wild cards at the time. So they made the playoffs against the Braves. And the Rockies were the home team to start. They had home field advantage. And let me tell you something. They got waxed immediately. Pitching sold them. The team didn't look prepared. They went back to Atlanta, stole game 3. And then it happened. They were eliminated on check swing and they went home. But it showed very good promise for the future. We were the first team to make the playoffs, the quickest team to make the playoffs as an expansion team. So that was great. So going into 96, there was no major moves made, and the Rockies went 83 and 79, finishing third in the West, even with all the hitting that they had. They decided to repeat the team in 97. They finished with the exact same record and the exact same place in the NL West at third and 83 and 79. So this team is mid. They're mid. They got two directions to go. They're not bad enough to get a first overall pick, to get a high draft pick, and they're not good enough to compete. So what do? They decide to try to capitalize and do absolutely nothing in fucking free agency. They just sat on their ass cheeks and said, you know what? We don't need to sign anybody. And they bottom out. They suck in 97, finishing fourth in the West, going 77 and 85. So another year the front office let down stars, which, might become a theme later in the video. I don't know. But they let down stars. So now you got to do something. You have terrible pitching. So now they try to capitalize on the Blake Street Bombers as they are getting old. So they signed left-handed pitcher in 99, Denny Neagle, to a 5-year, $50 million contract. He came from the Braves. He had a 2.97 ERA. And he came over to the Rockies and immediately sucked ass and got released immediately. He had an over 5 ERA in his 10-year, and he was just bad. And he was injured a lot during his time. He had like arm strains, quad strains. It was bad. And another bad signing for the Rockies. So they try to make up for it the next year by signing a decent pitcher named Mike Hampton. Pretty solid. Pretty solid. Pretty solid pitcher. Signed him to 8 years, $121 million. He was horrible for the Rockies. He played 2 years for Colorado, 2000 2002, posting over 5 ERA. And you wanna know why he chose the Rockies, guys? This I kid you not, he came out and said to the media. Now, it could have been a joke, but he said, "The only reason I signed with the Rockies is because the Colorado school systems were that damn good." You like sorry for laughing, but, like but, like, what the fuck, man? But this is some shit that only happened. So he only came to Colorado because of school systems. He chose us over the Mets. So, after those 2 terrible signings, we had really nothing going for us. So, I mean, we're gonna skip a few years. We're now in 2004, and we still have guys like Todd Helton, who is now an all-star MVP candidate, one of the best first basemen in the league. But in early August, franchise legend Larry Walker was traded to the Cardinals for Jason Birch, pitcher Chris Narveson, and catcher Luis Martinez. None of them made it to the big leagues for the Rockies. None of them played an inning in the majors for us. But whatever. Hey, got fleeced by the Cardinals. Is what it is. Maybe I hope they don't do it to us again, if you know what I'm talking about. But but trading Larry Walker cleared way for 7th round pick in 1998 to make his major league debut, named Matt Holliday. Keep that name in mind for later. He will be important. But the team still struggled mightily. They finished 4th in '04 at 68 and 94, and in '05 and '06, the Rockies sucked still, finishing 5th and 4th in the division. And in those years, nothing really came of note except for Troy Tulowitzki, pretty solid shortstop, in my opinion, in '06, made his major league debut. And same year, Abato Jimenez in September made his major league debut. So the team was building something. They were building something special, but it was only a matter of time until Todd Helton, franchise player, he was entering his age 30 season. They didn't know how much time he had left. So time was running out for Todd Helton to play meaningful baseball in Colorado. And in 2007, the team wasn't expected to do much. And other than that unassisted play, that Troy story, nice. And other than that unassisted triple play, Troy Tulowitzki pulled. The team was struggling, and in late May, they were 18 and 27, and at the break, they were 44 and 44. So the team was mid as expected. They were expected to finish 4th or 5th, so no one really gave them a chance. And in late August, the team was 64 and 63, putting them at 4th in the division and 7 games back of a wild card spot. And going into September, they were 69 and 65 and 6 games back of a playoff spot. And then they lost the first game of September, so now they're 69 and 66. So it wasn't looking good. But then something happened. On September 16th, the Rockies' record was 76 and 72 going in. They were 4 games back in the wild card race. Playoff odds were low, pretty low. No one believed in them, except for the people in Denver, Colorado. A switch flipped with the team. The Rockies beat the Marlins. They beat San Diego, then the Dodgers, and then Arizona. And they just felt unstoppable. No one could beat this team at this point of the year. From September 16th to September 30th, Colorado went 13 and 1. They finished the regular season winning 14 of their final games. Matt Holliday delivered huge late hits. Troy Tulowitzki played like a veteran star. Should have won Rookie of the Year, by the way. The lineup stopped chasing at bats and grinded them out and played like a solid team. The pitching locked in. Jeff Francis became a reliable ace for the team. Abato Jimenez became lights out. The bullpen suddenly held their own. Even with altitude, they were solid. They had a really good closer. Everything was going right. Late inning rallies. Colorado felt like October baseball. The crowd was into it. Everything. So, 14-1 finish, won 8 straight to close out the year, and they forced a tiebreaker with San Diego in the wild card, which led to, guess what? A game 163 on October 1st, 2007, between the Colorado Rockies and San Diego Padres at Coors Field. It was a winner-take-all to decide the National League wild card team to play in the NLDS. So, it was a game 163 against San Diego with a chance to go to the playoffs. And oh man, did it not disappoint. Colorado striking first in the first inning with a 3-run first inning, giving them an early 3-0 lead as Tulowitzki and Garrett Adkins get the Rockies on the board to be up 3-0 through 1, or 2-0 through 1, and then a home run in the second to go up 3. But then in the top half of the third, Adrian Gonzalez hitting a grand slam to put him up 4-3, and then they tack on another to make it 5-4 San Diego, but the Rockies are battling back. They make it 5-4, go to the bottom of the fifth, and Matt Holliday delivers once again and brings in Tulowitzki to make it 5-5, and going into the bottom of the sixth at 5-5 with 1 out, they get a triple and they deliver. Colorado goes up 6-5, and now with momentum on their side, they've scored 3 straight with no answer. They continue in the bottom of the seventh as they get a 1-out double that was just missed from a home run and hit the top of the wall. But they strand the runners, and going into the top of the eighth, Matt Holliday misplays a ball with 2 outs, and it was bad. So now no team can score ever since the 8th inning where Matt Holliday misplayed the ball. So it's going 6-6, and we're going extras after 9. So the Rockies bullpen shuts down, and so does the Padres. Both teams looking like true dominant forces somewhat. But then in the top of the 13th, it's looking like the clock struck midnight on the Rockies season as the Padres, Scott Hairston, 2-run shot to left field, and we're going to the bottom of the 13th, 8-6 San Diego. But Mizuki, one of those two. I'm not, fuck you. All right, lead off double, and then Tulowitzki follows him with another double. 8-7, and guess who's up? Remember Matt Holliday? Remember him? This is his time. He gets a triple off the wall that looked like it was going to be a home run for a while. But now it's time to cash in these runs. So with the chance to go to the NLDS to play the Phillies, the Rockies cashed in as Jamie Carroll line drive right field, and Matt Holliday was safe at home. Now, here's where the controversy comes in. People say he didn't touch home. Now, looking at the thing, he may have not, but there was no replay assist, so he was safe, and the Rockies advanced to play the Phillies. And the Phillies in 07? Jimmy Rollins MVP, Ryan Howard, Cliff Lee, they had everybody. The Rockies, odds were stacked against them. And in game 1, the Rockies were hearing none of that. They immediately came out, and they were dominating. They were up 3-0 after 4. And it was just looking another great game. Jeff Francis was shutting them down. Philadelphia couldn't do nothing until an Aaron Rowland home run, and then another one, this time from Pat Burnell, and just like that is 3-2, bottom 5. But the Rockies pitching stands strong as Matt Holliday, who else but Matt Holliday, delivers, and the Rockies win game 1 4-2 as Cole Hamels couldn't do nothing. And in game 2, same story. Rockies jump out to an early lead. It's a Troy Tulowitzki, Matt Holliday back-to-back shots, but Philadelphia this time they bounce back and make it 3-2. But just like they always do in October, they battled back and came back and just went ballistic in the fourth. They went off in the fourth inning to make the game 6-3, and then in the sixth they added on to make it 9-3. And the Rockies ended up winning game 2 10-5. So now with a chance to sweep the MVP of the league and most dominant team in baseball just behind them since the break. The Rockies went back to Colorado and a blackout. Alberto Jimenez was pitching in the top of the second. Lights went out. But let me tell you something. The lights went out on the field and the lights went out for the Phillies. Alberto Jimenez dominated the Phillies. And in the latest part of the game, man, when you needed it most, what did Colorado do as they always did? They delivered. First and third, 2 outs. Garrett Atkins at the plate, and he delivers a CNI single through the right side of the field. And just like that, the Rockies are up 2-1 going into the ninth, and they do it, and they advance to the NLCS against the Diamondbacks. What an insane time. Rocktober felt like something, I don't know how to explain it, destiny, some say. But it was something special now on against division rival, the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Arizona Diamondbacks are on the board in game 1. Why not? Arizona, instead of Colorado striking first as they always did, Arizona struck first, but Colorado did not care as they scored and scored and scored and ended up winning 5-1. As Jeff Francis again had a superb start, going 6 2/3 and only giving up 1. Torria steps up to the plate again, and he hits a 3-run shot, and the Rockies end up winning Game 3, 4-1. And in Game 2, it didn't get much better for the I'm sorry, not the Cardinals, fuck, Diamondbacks, as they lost 3-2 in extras in 11 innings, as Todd Helton and Matt Holliday combined for an 0-for-9 outing, but the rest of the Rockies stepped up as Tavares and Tolbria got an RBI and a double. And the pitching saved Colorado once again, which is not known for happening. So at this moment in time, we're up 2-0 going back home. You have a chance to end the end the Diamondback season. It's looking great. And guess what? In a 1-1 ball game in the bottom half of the sixth, Torria steps up to the plate again, and he hits a 3-run shot, and the Rockies end up winning Game 3, 4-1. Rockies fans were looking for a sweep. Everybody was. Arizona jumped out, though, to start 1-0. But the Rockies, in the bottom half of that inning, strike back. And they put on a 6-run fourth inning capped by a Matt Holliday 3-run shot, and we're up 6-1. But on the top of the eighth, Arizona came back and fought back with a 3-run shot down the line with 2 outs. And now the heat was on Colorado to not choke this game away, and in the top of the ninth, ground ball in the hole, Tulowitzki gloves it on a short hop, and just like that, the Rockies are going to the World Series. They brought the brims out. Todd Helton, franchise icon, had his arms in the air in triumph, and in one of the best things to ever happen to Colorado. They did it. They're going to the World Series to play the Boston Red Sox. And then the World Series came. An 8-day layoff may have cooled off the Red Hot Rockies. And then Boston immediately showed why they are a team to fear. Despite flashes from Matt Holliday and Todd Helton, they were just outmatched by a disciplined Red Sox lineup and a strong pitching rotation. In a cruel twist of fate, when the Rockies were sweeping everybody, they get swept. 4-0 by the Red Sox. No miracle, no comeback, no final twist, just silence. They didn't win a World Series, but for 1 month, baseball in Colorado felt unstoppable. This team felt unhuman. They turned doubt into belief. They turned a late season sprint to a pennant. They were left for dead in mid-September, but they clawed and fought their way back. It's the standard that every Rockies team chases. This team was left for dead, and then they became a legend. They didn't win a championship, but to Rockies fans, Rocktober meant something now. But going into 2009, the Rockies fans had high hopes of what was to come, and they bottomed out badly. They went 74 and 88, finished third in the West, and not only did they suck, they traded away NLCS MVP last year, Matt Holliday. Like Matt Holliday got traded just off a World Series run because they couldn't agree to a contract for the guy. They traded for Carlos Gonzalez, Houston Street, and Greg Smith. So the team once again looked like just a fluke team in 07. But in 09, they were able to make it back to the playoffs, and they were playing the Phillies in the NLDS. They went 92 and 70 and were able to make it back, and they now have a chance at another run, and they get booted in 4 games. The Phillies got their get-backs, and once again, it just wasn't looking good, as this ended up being the last playoff series for Rockies legend Todd Helton in a Rockies uniform. Todd ended up retiring in 2013 and recently got into the Hall of Fame in 2024. He's only the second Rocky ever to get into the Hall of Fame. And in 2010, the Rockies were finally able to throw a no-hitter, first and only in franchise history, as Ubaldo Jimenez in Atlanta threw a no-hitter against the Atlanta Braves. But in 2013, little-known man Nolan Arenado was able to make his debut, and he showed why he's going to be feared for years to come. So now we're in 2015. The Rockies still finish 4th and 5th in the division each year, and they just don't look great. But it looked like they were turning a corner, maybe, perhaps. But then on July 28th, they stabbed franchise icon Troy Tulowitzki in the back. He didn't want to be traded. He wanted to stay in Colorado. It caught him off guard. He felt betrayed and backstabbed. They traded Troy Tulowitzki away to the Blue Jays for Jose Reyes, Jeff Hoffman, Miguel Castron, Jesus Tinoco. It was a dark time for Rockies fans. Jose Reyes comes to the Rockies and disappoints us with a .259 average, played in 47 games before being released and being paid $40 million to get off the team because he decided to beat a woman in Hawaii. And now going into 2016, the team just didn't look happy. Team wasn't fun. But the Troy Tulowitzki trade cleared away for another great shortstop in Trevor Story. He made his debut in 2016 against Zach Greinke. You may have heard of him. Pretty good pitcher. Yeah, he said, I don't care. I'm going to hit 3 home runs against the Diamondbacks in my debut. And one of the best debuts and one of the best months for a rookie ever. So now the team has hope. They still finish under 500 at 75 and 87, but there's hope that this team could be good going into 2017. And that's what they did. They were good. Finally, after years of torment, the Rockies were a good baseball team again. They went to the playoffs with guys like Arenado, Trevor Story, Carlos Gonzalez, DJ LeMahieu, the Beard, Charlie Blackmon. And going into the year, they signed Ian Desmond and closer Greg Holland, World Series champion at that. And finally, they make it back at 87-75, and they're going to the wild card game against the Arizona Diamondbacks. So now they're playing the Diamondbacks in Arizona. They've done it before. Why not do it again? Bring that 2007 magic. Charlie Blackmon hit 331, 37 home runs, 104 RBIs. Nolan Arenado, 37 home runs, 130 RBIs, playing great defense at third base, diving stops across the field, laser beams, clutch hits in late innings from the Rockies. Everybody, Mark Reynolds, minor league contract. What about you make a resurgence and hit 30 home runs? And now John Gray on the mound, ace pitcher for the Rockies at the time. Going into the wild card, why not? I'm gonna give up a lot of runs. I'm gonna give up 4 in the first 1 1/3 I pitch, and I'm gonna get taken out. All right, okay, that's fine. 6-0 though. 6-0 going into the fourth inning. Rockies are looking dead in the water. You're looking like you need a miracle, and they get one. They score 4 in the fourth. So it's 6-4 as they are finally getting back into this game. And again, they score in the seventh. They're on a 5-0 run right now. They've scored 5 in a row to the Diamondbacks 0. They're going on a run. But in the bottom of the seventh, a miracle for the Diamondbacks when they needed it most happened. And unfortunately for Rockies fans, it may have ended their season. As Archie fucking Bradley, let me repeat that for you. Archie Bradley hits a triple base clearing to bring home 2. And just like that, it was 8-5. Archie Bradley, by the way, hits triple. Like in a playoff game, Archie Bradley hit a triple. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Archie Bradley, the pitcher, the relief pitcher, hits a triple. All right. All right. All right. Whatever. In a cruel twist of fate, Arenado and Torres, they did best, go back to back as they hit back to back home runs. And the score is 8-7. And what would have been a tie game, or would have been a Rockies lead, actually. The Rockies were losing. And then in the bottom half, the Diamondbacks tack on 2 more. And then the bottom. And then they end up winning 11-8 as the Rockies season ends prematurely. But going into 2018, they had a lot of hope. Wade Davis, Brian Shaw, headline a bullpen in free agency. They bring back Matt Holliday. And in a little known decision, they moved Ian Desmond to center field. So 2018 happened. Magical year for the team. 91 wins in the regular season. Kyle Freeland pitching like a Cy Young candidate. They're almost throwing a no-hitter against the White Sox before the All-Star break. And going into the final week of the year, they have a chance to clinch the division. Going to the final division, if they sweep the lowly Nationals, they clinch a division title for the first time in history. And they lose 12-2 in Game 2. So, Game 163 it is. So we had to go to LA for Game 163. And it was just an absolutely brutal game. I stayed home for this game, and we just got mollywopped. It was 5-0 after in the ninth, going into the ninth inning, and Arenado and Story hit a fucking Chris Paul type of thing to make it 5-2. And it was just a brutal loss, but it is what it is. You can go to the wild card and win that. So they go to the wild card. We're going to Chicago, boys. Chicago, the Cubbies. Javi Baez, Chris Bryant, a few years after the World Series title. They're looking like one last stand with the team. And we send them boys back. And we start out 1-0. And the pitchers are just absolutely locked down. Lester, 6 innings, score only 1 run. Kyle Freeland, 6 1/3 scoreless. And in the bottom of the 8th, Terrence Gore still second, 2 outs. So it's not looking like a huge deal. R.I.P. Terrence Gore. And even on an 0-2 count with 2 outs, Javi Baez at the plate. Adam Ottavino, lockdown reliever, throws a low and away slider, and Javi Baez pokes it out to left field. Once again, 2 outs, 2 strikes. They capitalize on us, and it just, wow. So, going to the ninth, both teams don't score. So now we're going to extras, which is wonderful, you know? Extras. Who wouldn't want extras in the playoffs? So no team can score until the 13th inning when Tony Walters, a known terrible hitter, comes up with like a 180 batting average. Not expecting to do much. But in a twist of events, with 2 strikes and 2 outs, Tony Walters singles up the middle to give the Rockies a lead. And I still remember the call to this day. It was Walters with a base hit up the middle, and the Rockies have taken the lead. It was honestly probably one of the best things to ever happen in franchise history. Okay, maybe not one of the best. One of the best, yeah. And now they shut him down, and now they're going into. Now they're going to Milwaukee to play the Brewers and Christian Yelich. And they get swept immediately. It was game one had a chance. First and second, nobody out. Charlie Blackmon doubles down the line. One scores. It's a ground rule double. It looks like they're going to go off. It looks like we're going to go to the playoff. It's looking like we're going to win and go to the NLCS. And it was a foul ball. It was a hair foul. And it just brutal. Brutal loss. And it sucked for us as we had to watch the Brewers end up celebrating in extra innings as they beat us. And they beat us in shutout fashion game 2 and 3. And we end up going home. And in 2018, it was just another stepping stone, it seemed like, for this team to be great. But going into 2019, there was a player not on the team. His name was DJ LeMay. You might know him. Second baseman. We let him walk to the Yankees for nothing. It was another stupid decision by ownership to not re-sign one of the best second basemen in baseball. Could play anywhere, could hit anywhere. We just let him walk for nothing. All right, whatever. Why not do that? Who do we bring in? Nobody. Nobody. We're just gonna run it back with this team without DJ LeMahieu. All right, let's see how it goes. This is what I like to call the dark ages of Rockies baseball. They bottom out, go 71 and 91, and the team just looked worse. It just looked terrible. They regressed heavily from last year. Freeland, terrible. The pitching staff, terrible. And it just didn't look good. So going into 2020, which was a shortened year, and they added playoff spots, you were thinking maybe the Rockies can make a playoff push, right? Wrong. They immediately bottom. They start out great, 11-4, first in the West. People were scared of us a little bit, and they immediately bottom out, go 26-34, and had to watch the Padres and Dodgers make playoffs, and the Dodgers won a fucking World Series, bro. You got to be kidding me. Well, unless we have Nolan Arenado, and then February 1st happened. Arenado got traded to the Cardinals for fucking balls. He got traded for a pack of chips and you're fucking 4 for 4 from Arby or Wendy's, dude. Got traded for Austin Gomber, Ellis Montero, and some other guys that never made the big leagues. But you want to know what he got traded for? You want to know? We didn't just send Arenado. We sent him $50 million to take Arenado away from us. So now we just traded franchise superstar Nolan Arenado away for nothing, and we gave him $50 million. That's more than any player in Rockies history has made ever. $50 million in a year. It's because we didn't want to pay Arenado the big bucks. Our ownership lost a lot of money, and they were just some pussies. Jeff Bridich, fucking pussy ass owner. I'm sorry, this is where I get mad because this is like the only parts I remember of Rockies baseball. Dick Monfort comes out and says, I would rather sell the team than fire Jeff Bridich, which I was hoping he would. But a week later, God answered our prayers. I don't know. Maybe Satan got Jeff Bridich. I don't know. Maybe somebody threatened his life. But he ends up resigning from the Rockies job, and Jeff Bridich is 10 years over. As he traded away Troy Tulowitzki, Nolan Arenado, let DJ LeMahieu walk, made terrible signings, and basically ended a title window that lasted 2 years for the Rockies prematurely. And now going into 2021, well, Rockies got to host the All-Star game because the Braves said something a little racist, from what I heard. I don't know. Or something. I forgot what it was, but it was weird. It was bad. So, Trevor Story's still on the team. He gets a little 2021, whatever. And it just doesn't get better, man. We don't trade him at the break, and we let him walk in free agency, so we get nothing for Trevor Story, franchise player, just left the team for nothing. You want to know what we got? We just got a high five. And then in the offseason, guess who we signed? We signed washed up Chris fucking Bryan, brother. Probably the worst contract we had. we had our owner guaranteeing that we were probably gonna finish at 500. Oh, I remember. He said we were gonna win like 90 games or something like that. It was probably the worst time ever to be a Rockies fan, man. Worst time. We signed up Wash Chris Bryant, bro, and now, like, remember Ian Desmond? Yeah, he was rated as one of the worst center fielders in the game. So maybe don't move a shortstop unless his name is Fernando Tatis, the fucking outfield, man. Whatever. But today, man, Rockies just suck. It's 2025, and we just came off one of the worst seasons in not only franchise history, but baseball history. First team ever to reach 50 losses before 10 wins in the modern day. Had the worst run differential in history, I think. We started out, what was it, 8-42 after 50 games and 10-50 after 60. We had the worst record in baseball since like the 62 Mets. Setting records for just being ass. We did a reverse 2001 Mariners. It was just, man. It can really only go up from here. I mean, unless you go 162, it really can only go up. I watched like 4 games last year, and that was at the beginning of the year against the White Sox. No, it was against Tampa. And we decided, oh, you know what? Our pitching's good. Why don't we just not hit? All right. Man, it just like the team just got scared to spend money, man. It really did after those bad signings with Greg Holland. It was really the guys we signed in 09 or 2099 that really made us not want to spend money anymore. And guess what else? It's just Wade Davis didn't help. All those guys didn't help. This is the problem I have with Rockies ownership. They got complacent, just didn't want to spend money because they were afraid. You know who's not afraid? Bro, stop being windy. You know who's not afraid? The fucking Dodgers, man. Like, I hate the Dodgers. Let me get that out of the way. The Dodgers, I hate them. Division rival, they suck. Jeff Bridges sucks, and Dick Monfort sucks. But the Dodgers aren't afraid to fail. They signed Michael Conforto to a lucrative deal, I believe, and he sucked ass. So you want to know what they did? They said, all right, we're not going to be complacent and just stick with being terrible. You know, anybody can spend money, you know. Some people don't have that money. But the Dodgers use it to their best of their advantage, and they signed Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker, multiple time All-Star, and just a great player in general, a great hitter. They sign him, and now their team's got like Shohei Ohtani, Kyle Tucker, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, the fucking Avengers. I mean, shit. They got the Decepticons, the Avengers, fucking Thanos. They got any superhero you can think of, man. They got Superman in left field, Batman in right, fucking I don't know who else. Center field, they got trying to think of other superheroes, man. I don't know. They got the Flash in center. They got at short, they got Captain America, Iron Man at second. Third base, they got Thanos. First base, they got Black Panther. I mean, they just got a dream team, man. It's like but enough Dodgers glaze, fuck those guys. But they're not afraid of signing people. We are. We're just scared of what will happen if they fail. And we signed just people off name brands. Like we signed Daniel Murphy just to sell tickets. He's washed as fuck. He was like 33. Chris Bryant also, if you watch that 2021 season when he got traded to the Giants, he was dog shit. Man, this is just all right. I mean, it's just we have Ezekiel Tovar now. Ethan Ethan Holiday's with us. Matt Holiday's son. So maybe he can do something for us. Charlie Condon, Chase Dollander. We got Hunter Goodman. I mean, we got a lot of people. It's just, damn, man. Are we just gonna? It's just, you got to think. Do they trade their best player when he gets good? Because that's what they've done over the years. They did it with Arenado. They did it with Matt Holliday. They did it with Larry Walker. They should have done it with Trevor Story, but they didn't. And it's just like, damn, man. What are you guys doing? They're just like the ownership just has their heads in their fucking ass sometimes, man. And it's just going to be like that for a long time. You just got to accept that. Not 3 straight losing seasons. 3 straight 100 loss seasons, man. Our only hope is that we can be like the Orioles and somehow make it back to like just being average, man. This is what any fan would want for the Rockies right now. Like, do you know how bad you have to be for division rivals to feel bad for you? Dodgers fans, known fucking Dodgers fans, man. Dodgers fans are the biggest dicks in the world. They feel bad for us. That's how bad we suck. We suck so bad. We have empathy from every fan base in the league for sucking so bad. No one points to, I don't know, the A's at being like the worst team in baseball, the White Sox. They point at us. They point at the Colorado Rockies to being the most awful team in the sport today. I think what we're doing right now is worse for baseball than what the Dodgers are doing. Maybe not. I don't know. But we are gaining sympathy from being asked. That is just not. We're entering Charlotte Hornets territory. That's just not territory you want to be in. But yeah, man, I'm done being a little mad. Let's just enter the recap. So, throughout their history since 1993, the Rockies have made 5 playoff appearances. 5. 95, 2007, 2009, 2017, 2018, and won one NL pennant, which was back in 07 on that historical Rocktober run. May have watched that in the video. I don't know. But they are also one of the only teams to never win the division. In their history, they have never won a division. They've gotten close in 2018, couldn't pull it through, and they've only went to one World Series against the Red Sox where we just got fucking ass blasted and lost in 4 after just seeming like we were the best team. And yeah. It's just a brutal awakening. And it is what it is, brother. Maybe one day it will change, but for now, the Rockies are stuck in a forever rebuild. That's all I have for you guys in the video. If you like the video, like the video. Subscribe if you enjoyed. And it's go Rockies till I die, I guess, maybe. And heal up Bo Nix. I need you. Maybe videos coming out for you soon. But yeah. Have a good one, guys.